Last episode, it was the middle of September. We won 2 games and I went away and I played a lot of Football Manager. It is now the 16th of December in game. Despite that, only 10 games played. Now, of course, the transfer window is currently shut. There's not really any transfer business going on, and yet we've done a little bit off the pitch. First and foremost, we found a new affiliate club. Havant and Waterloo Villa of the National North are now an affiliate of ours. Elsewhere, we've increased our transfer budget to £24 million. Yes, the board were happy with how things were going at the start of the month. Things haven't gone so good lately. And it does mean with 2 weeks left till the transfer window opens, I'm licking my lips a little bit. Of course, the caveat to all the transfer budget is I still need to find players that actually want to join me for reasonable wages. That's a lot taller ask. You may have also noticed the other 2 board requests we've got going on: improved youth facilities, improved training facilities. Things are looking up. At least that's the case. Off the pitch, on the pitch. We've won 2 games in the league in our last 9. Now, as I already mentioned, last episode we had back-to-back wins, didn't we? 5-1 against Birmingham, 2-0 against Leeds, but we did have some injuries off the back of that, and I do feel like they held us back a little. First up, a defeat against Everton, 3-2 defeat in this one. The result maybe looks closer than it was in reality. We got a goal back in the 92nd minute, Aaron Ramsey scoring both the first and last goals of the game. He's been in some okay form. Kind of. I'd say, no, you know what? He was in some good form when we took on Everton. You can see this group of green games here. That was where he played well. Since then, the form is dropped off a little. Next up, we were taking on Chelsea. We lost this one 4-1. Carl Flood sent off within the first half. Yet not exactly ideal when you lose one of your defensive mids, especially because Haig Dolk was also injured for this run of recent games. He is, in fact, as you can see here, still coming back from injury. He had a lower back stress fracture. So yes, off the back of this game against Chelsea, we were without our 2 first-choice centre mids, and it kind of made us struggle. In the EFL Cup, we crashed out against Crystal Palace. We played a rotated team, but we got some revenge immediately. A 2-0 win there. Hoey with his first goal for the club. The centre-back at 21 years old, looking like a solid little pickup. But one win in the month of October was not ideal. I was hoping we could do better in the month of November. Spoilers, we didn't. 2-1 defeat against Newcastle was gutting. We battled so hard in this game. It was 1-1 going into the 92nd minute, and then Livramento popped up and put it past Griffiths in goal. So that 2-1 defeat felt like a bit of a gut punch. This one also felt like a massive gut punch. We lost 1-0 against Brentford. They really didn't do anything. They scored a penalty in the 6th minute. You can tell from their XG, just the opportunities they had were very limited. We went on the front foot and created a load. Sadly for us, Aaron Ramsdale got man of the match. Now, as I mentioned, we've been struggling for form a little bit lately. This result came out of absolutely nowhere. 5-0 against West Ham. James Ward-Prowse missed a penalty in the 5th minute, and he would regret that. Rashid Mohammed finally getting off the mark for the season. He was very solid in this game here. It was 2 goals for him. They are his only 2 goals this year in the league. And elsewhere, you might have noticed Caleb Anson back in the team. Of course, he dislocated his shoulder, came back with a bang in this game. Last couple, not quite been as impressive. Speaking of which, it is 3 games without a win. These 3 games, 2 I felt were winnable. This one, I didn't think was winnable until it nearly was. Look at this. 4-3 against Liverpool at Anfield. The thing that makes this worse, Sheldon missed a penalty for the hat-trick to make it 4-4. We very nearly stole something against the team top of the league until we kicked it straight at Alisson Becker. Pain. A win here would have been really nice. We needed it. We didn't get it. And then against the Southampton team down at the bottom of the table, we took them on, and I didn't really look at their team going into things. I just thought, well, they're below us in the table. We should be able to get a result. They had Noni Madueke and Lukaku playing for them. They both scored. I'll be honest, they dominated this game. So here is how the league table is looking right now. We are down in 16th place today. We have to take on Leicester to kick off things today. We've then got Aston Villa in game number 2. And then because I'm an idiot, we are doing a 3rd game today against Man City, who are currently top of the Premier League. Erling Haaland is top goal scorer. He has 26 goals in 14 games in this season. Last year, he got 12 goals all year. In fact, he's already set his record for goals in a season in a year in this save game. I'm lost for words. That is just outrageous, isn't it? You may have also spotted here, when it comes to assisters, we have the top 2 players in Amari Hutchinson at left wing back, who has 6 assists in 15. And also, James McConnell has got 6 assists in 9 from right wing back. I've wanted to play him more, but because of some of the defensive mid injuries and the suspension in the case of Carl Flood, he's had to play in the middle a little bit more. He is becoming, I think, our main right back option. I'm sorry to the Ajaria fans. All I'm saying is when you compare the 2 players head to head, McConnell is undoubtedly a more solid option, much to the, displeasure of Ajaria, who's asking for a new contract because, to be fair, he is on £800 a week. So that's you all caught up on goings on. We've got 3 games to do today. We're going to get into the first. It's against Leicester. It is 16th versus 17th. You may have spotted as well at this league table, real quick. It's extremely close. We are only 3 points ahead of Brentford in 19th. Brentford and Villa, real shock teams to have towards the bottom. We take on Aston Villa in our second game today. They have Jacob Ramsey in their team. Of course, we have his brother in Aaron Ramsey, so that's going to be an all-brotherly affair there. They have just appointed Amarin as manager. He's been doing a little better than the previous manager. And if you're wondering about why we're doing Leicester, well, firstly, they are the team directly behind us in the league and it feels like a winnable game. But also, Andy White is playing up top for them. 4 goals in 12 games in the Premier League for this guy. He does have a relegation release clause of 31 million. So I feel like we are kind of Scar in The Lion King here. We have a chance to throw Mufasa, aka Leicester, into the relegation zone. I really want to make that happen. Some good news going into today's game. No injuries, no suspensions, no drama. I say that, Dolg is actually still coming back from his injury and only fit enough for 45 minutes, which does mean in the midfield we are going with JJ and Flood today. JJ, of course, was our go-to centre-back last year and we converted him back to a centre-back in a bit of a weird twist of fate. Now finds himself playing back at defensive mid, which is where he originally played before he joined us. The rest of the team, though, is unchanged. Like I mentioned, we have had issues with injuries. Mohammed and Sheldon, of course, got injured last episode with Anson. Elsewhere, well, we've been without Dolk for a long little while. Flood was suspended for 3 games too. It's nice to have everyone back for this game. This is really a must-win game. Southampton and Wolves, the 2 most recent games, were games that I thought we could win. We got 1 point between those 2 matches. We need to start getting a few more 3 points on the board. Of course, Leicester themselves aren't in the relegation zone, and although they'd leap ahead of us, we could still be above the drop after this game. Then again, when you're at home in this kind of situation, you've got to go out there and try and get a result. Okay, corner for us. Hutchinson's over it. Hoey, like I mentioned, has got 2 goals to his name, the centre-back. He has become our new set-piece weapon. He's lurking there at the back post, and he's headed it against the woodwork. We have the ball on the far side here, although Fatawu is going to pick it up. A little bit of an unconventional start to a highlight here, but you know what? We're penning them back. JJ's bringing it forward. And that is not the shot we needed at the end of things there, is it? 26 minutes into this game, we are having a lot of the play in this game. 62% of the ball yet to have a shot on target despite having 7 opportunities. I'm wondering if this is the kind of game where maybe we have to drop the cautious and go more positive and more attacking. Andy White's through. Andy White scores. I think he's offside. If he's not offside, I might cry. You might be about to see a grown man cry. Andy White, please be offside. Please be offside. He's not offside. The former Wanderers man, the man that we rose for our own youth intake, pops up in this game. And of course, if there was going to be someone to score, it was going to be Andy. It's 1-0 Leicester. Right, lads, we need to try and turn things around in this game before the break. I'm keeping with cautious just for now because I worry if we play positive, they might just catch us on the break again. And at the moment, we are creating some stuff, but we need to start having a few more shots on target and crafting a little bit more. McConnell hits the woodwork, and for the second time in this match, for us, the woodwork shakes. 3 minutes of the added time at the end of this first half, well, I was going to say is going to come and go. It might not be gone just yet. Andy White leaps. We win the ball initially, but we've not dealt with the danger. It's back into the middle. It's somehow hacked away. That is not the highlight I needed to end that half. Look at the XG story. We've created plenty, but lots of low kind of quality chances. They've had 2 moments of brilliance. And I'll be honest, based on that last highlight, maybe we're lucky that it's only 1-0 at the break. I'm going to change our mentality here to be more positive. I want us to get forward that little bit more. I'm going to encourage our players to counter-press as well. When we do lose the ball, preferably high up the pitch, I want us to be winning it up the pitch as high as possible. Not making any changes at half-time. I'm going to hope that the words that I've left ringing in my players' ears are going to turn things around in this second. Of course, the risk is that now playing that more positive brand of football, maybe committing some of our wing-backs, our defensive mid, higher up the pitch, are just going to leave us a little more open. We'll have to see how things play out here as well. They are bringing the ball out from the back. Fatawu gives it back to Longstaff. He plays it inside to Fisher. Played through the middle. Andy White touches it down and shoots. Mercifully for us on this occasion, that one's gone over. Amari Hutchinson to Flood. JJ. We've created a little bit in this game, but we've not had a load of high-quality one-on-one chances. Leicester have sat back. We've struggled to break them down. Like I said, with the mentality shift, we are going to have players commit a little higher up the pitch when we do have the ball, and I feel like that is certainly going to be in our interest here. Rolk bringing it forward, gives it to McConnell. The right-back has been sensational this year, looking to turn provider. Balls to Sheldon, not once, but twice, and Setford makes the save. Hutchinson, though, with the resulting corner. Not long played in this second half yet. I was weighing up some changes. I won't make them yet. Hoey denied by the keeper again. This really is a relegation 6-pointer. Leicester scraped safety last year. We should be taking the game to them. We want Andy White back. We need to win this game if we want him back. And we're just not doing enough. I'm going to encourage the players to work the ball into the box a little more here. We are going to up the directness of the passing just a smidge. To be honest, at this point, as well as kind of instruction changes, I need to be changing personnel. Now, in terms of changes, Alozzi is going to come on at centre attacking mid, and I heard the cries of the people. Oliver Johnson has an afro that's black in-game and facial hair. I updated his face to have facial hair and an afro. I'll be honest, it looks like one of those criminal fits, but I feel like it looks like him in the match engine, so you can blame Football Manager. Now, Johnson has been improving quite a lot lately. I'm hoping he can turn into a really key player for us. Elsewhere, Gavin Wallace, another player developing really well at left wing back. Going to bring him on for Amari. And you know what? I was told that Dolk could play a little bit of time in this game. Need to get his match fitness up. Half an hour here hopefully won't hurt. I mean, let's be real, 25 minutes left in this game. We have absolutely dominated this game. We have looked by far and away the better team. We just need to try and find the breakthrough. Johnson is our big man to lump the ball to in the middle. He is a big, meaty man. Of course, Wallace going to be trying to pick him out. Nice build-up play here. Nice spell of possession, but Leicester not in a mood to press us, as you can see. They are happy to sit deep, and it's on us to find that killer pass to try and get something here. Flood plays it wide. Wallace on off the bench, the youngster, cuts inside. Recently scored, by the way, his first ever Premier League goal for the club. That was a really nice moment for him. A goal here certainly wouldn't hurt. Rolk back to Hoey at the back. Lays it to Flood. Flood to Arian B. We are petting them back. We are knocking the ball around nicely. Can Wallace pick out someone in the middle? He floats it. Back post. And Lozzie hits the woodwork. And that is the third time in this game that we've been denied, not by the goalie, but by a piece of metal. Well, traditionally wood is modern day metal. And with 20 minutes left, I am just getting that sinking feeling of maybe it's not our day. You know, maybe it's just not meant to be. Although maybe I can get rid of that feeling because hallelujah, finally, we get the goal we deserve. I feel like having got this goal now, we cannot afford to sit back. We need to keep playing the way that we're playing and try and get another. We definitely could make that happen. Wallace, what a ball that is. Sheldon, unmarked. He is our top goal scorer for a reason. He's popped up with another. Now, it is worth noting the game against Villa and then the game against Man City, all very close together. If this game had been going well, I'd be rotating things. Obviously, I don't have that luxury. I've got to keep the big guns on and hope they can deliver. Dolk has hit the woodwork again. If we miss out, right, if we draw this game and then miss out on safety by 2 points or 1 point, this is going to be the game I look at and think, how did we not win it? Assuming we don't win it. This might be naive. This might leave us a little vulnerable at the back. I'm going to an attacking mentality. Flood is going to play as a roaming playmaker as well. I'm committing players further up the pitch. I've got one more sub if I want to make it. You know what? Flood's having a good game. I'm going to bring in the fresh legs of Bellingham in the middle to just try and get the goal that I feel like we deserve. They've not had a shot on target since they scored. That was their only shot on target. There is how much added time? We don't know yet. And they've got a corner. It's whipped in. They've headed it just wide. If that goes in, I am absolutely fuming. There's 4 minutes of added time. There is another replay here. We are pressing high up the pitch. We win the ball nicely. Alozzi to McConnell. Lovely build-up play. Drilled across the box. Cleared away, kind of. Although McConnell, the right back, picks up. Cuts inside. And Setford saves another. 4 minutes of added time, and, well, there is no more chances to be had. Setford for them got a 7.3 rating. He was one of the best performers. Gavin Wallace off the bench for us got man of the match with that assist. When you look at those match stats, how can you not view that as points dropped? The good news for us, looking at things here, Norwich could only draw, Brentford could only draw behind us. So we don't drop down. Elsewhere, by the way, Villa lost to Birmingham. Remember Birmingham? We were battering them. I was mocking them, wasn't I? As the newly promoted team with us, who'd lost 7-2 to Norwich and then we'd battered. They're up in 8th. They have an awful goal difference. I don't know how they've done it. Anyway, I am very conscious of the fact I've got 2 more games to do today. That one had a lot of highlights, and this episode is in risk of becoming a long one. So rather than risk dragging it out unnecessarily, we're going to get straight into game number 2. It's Aston Villa. It's a few days away. Do not go anywhere. Aston Villa going into this season, media prediction and 9th, actually playing in the Conference League, and yet they are bottom of the Prem right now. they've been awful lately. And of course, this game here, it's a battle of brotherly love. We have the younger brother, they have the older brother. I kind of wanted to drop Aaron going into this game. I don't think I can. Now, as I already mentioned, fixture schedule is rather rammed. It's that Christmas period where there's midweek games here, there, and everywhere. In terms of the team news, though, we have rested up the players. I am contemplating if Haig Dolk should play more in this game. You can see fitness test for 45 minutes. I'll be honest, I feel like a broken back isn't something to rush a man back from, so we'll stick with the exact same team that played the last game. Despite the fact we couldn't win against Leicester, I don't feel like we were bad. I feel like Villa Park is rarely a nice place to come to. I feel like Villa, especially in Football Manager, can sometimes be really, really good. I'm actually shocked how much they're struggling just a few years into the save game. Saying all of that, of course, they are in European football. They've had kind of cup success and had good seasons. It's just been a really, really bad one for them here. So I guess if there's a time to play them, it is now, but we have to do something. Another little reminder too, Flood at centre mid for us, the Irish playmaker, was released from Villa's academy. So he has a point to prove. He joined us down in League One, having been told he didn't have a future in football by Aston Villa. We've brought him into our ranks. We've forged him into one of our own. It'd be very sweet, I think, for him if we could make something happen. McConnell, of course, playing a right wing-back for Ajaria, takes the ball down nicely. Sheldon, Ramsey, against his brother's club, against his former club, has his shot denied. I think the keeper parried that onto the post. It's another opportunity where I look at it and think, another day maybe that goes in. On another day, maybe we take the lead. As things stand, though, it's a promising opening to this game as far as I'm concerned. Yes, it's 0-0. They've not had a lot of opportunities despite edging out possession, and it's us dictating the play now as a second highlight begins. McConnell gives it to Sheldon. Of course, Ramsey and Mohamed to look for in the middle. Also, Amari Hutchinson lurking at the back stick. It goes over everyone. Hutchinson's going to try and keep this attack alive. He gives it to Flood at the edge of the box, who's going to go all the way back to Arian B. Back with Hutchinson. This is pretty. This is nice. Where are we going? Arian B, have you got a plan? I'm not sure he has. JJ, Hutchinson. Sensational. Ramsey scores. And if he's onside, which I think he is, that is one of the best goals we've scored all year. I mean, drink this in. Enjoy it. Of course, we have our wider centre-backs at left centre-back and right centre-back set to dribble more. They will drift into wide areas like that. It created space in the middle. We worked it around superbly, and the finish was not too bad either. Oh, we really need a win. They're bottom. I need to win this one. And yeah, I feel like Football Manager's heard me. We're throwing the ball straight to them. What are we doing? It's Illing Jr. looking to put it into the middle. Ollie Watkins is there. Hutchinson heads it away. It's only half cleared. Dest. Edge of the box. Shot. Enzo spanks into the top corner, and I just feel sad. If you're wondering, how long did that lead last? 4 minutes. 4 minutes. I mean, it is a bit of a wonder goal. I'm not sure if the keeper saw it coming. Anson, yeah, not his finest moment. 40 minutes played. Villa now with a corner. Why do I feel like this game has swung with, well, that goal that we conceded? Ramsey for them is going to keep the play alive on the near side. Jacob Ramsey, I should say, to make things clear, lays it back to João Marquez, who's going to drift into the middle. Aaron Ramsey's there. He's given away the ball. What are we doing here? They've hit the woodwork. This is not enjoyable to watch. I hate it. You know, some people, they have a co-worker who's annoying with their work, or they have, I don't know, real-life work problems. My issues in my employment involve my virtual football team hitting the woodwork, and it's physically painful. At the break, it's 1-1. Like I said, when they scored, it did swing the game a little. We had a few chances at the end that weren't shown as highlights, but ultimately, it is 1-1 at the break, and I am far from happy. Don't want to change anything too radically too soon, but you know what? Ajaria on Newcombe. I'm thinking about the fact Gavin Wallace got man of the match last game and wondering, how could I shuffle things around? Sometimes I do put Hutchinson to centre attack mid, but Ramsey's been good in this game, so I can't really take him off either. I think for now, I'm going to bring in Dolk at centre mid. Ajaria and Dolk just for some fresh legs. No further changes. I am looking at our strikers thinking, might have to change things up there sooner rather than later. They have a corner. Villa whipping it to the back post. Ratskov is under it. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Hoey just kicked him in the back of the shins like he owes him a loan debt or something. And now I assume Villa are going to have a penalty here. I can't really argue with it, can I? And having had the lead in this game, it looks like we're about to go a goal down unless Anson can turn hero. He saved a penalty from Ward-Prowse. Can he save one from another England international in Ollie Watkins? The answer is no. Ollie Watkins gives him the eyes and puts it straight in the top corner. Not sure he was ever going to save that one. Possession in this game has been very, very 50-50. With that in mind, I'm going to go for some similar changes to the ones that we did last game. I'm going to switch our mentality. I'm going to go to balanced rather than positive here. But in transition, we're going to start to look for that counter press again. Both Sheldon and Mohamed have been poor in this game. I'm going to bring in Ezio Torre, who's had a few issues with injuries. And I'm also going to bring in Ollie Johnson to play alongside one another. Torre, I don't dislike. He's just been injured a lot. But this could be a game to give him a chance. This second half, I'll tell you what, it really has swung. That penalty may be more a symptom of the problem rather than the problem that we had. We have been in a lot of, well, trouble here. Ajari has come on, by the way, and he's on a 6.3 rating. They've been building a lot of their play up down the left-hand side, and it's safe to say I think they are targeting our left wing-back Prince on £800 a week. Or is it 600? It's hundreds of pounds either way. There's 13 minutes left in this game, and if I'm being honest with you, last game I was expecting a comeback. This time, I'm hoping for one, but my hopes are going to be delivered. Ezio Torre was playing in the 4th tier of Italy 4 years ago. Now he's just scored in the Premier League. Villa dilly-dallying with it at the back. Having seen them create so much, I was fearing another opportunity. It is Jacob Ramsey caught sleeping. Johnson wins it. The two strikers we brought on link up, and it's 2-2. I'm going to go back to a cautious mentality, but I'm going to keep the counter-pressing on, I think. Okay, we have a throw-in right in the corner here. Hoey, Ari and B. I don't really like our setup here. Villa have got so many players forward, but Ajaria, well, wins a header that was probably more important than I realised there. It's relieved the pressure, albeit momentarily, but Villa, so many players forward now. The ball's in the middle. I think that was blocked away. Ratkov's shot denied. Caleb, just hoof it, mate. That'll do, donkey. That will do. Johnson wins the flick on Torre. Can't get on the end of that one, and this just feels like one of those games where there's probably something more to happen. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you got that feeling in your gut in Football Manager that a game just isn't quite done yet. Arian B with it, gives it to Ramsey. He turns, can't pick out Torre, our goal scorer for our second. Nice win, though, by Dolk in the middle. We dink it forward. Torre, under it, doesn't quite get there. Illing Jr. gives it to Ramsey, who needs to make up for the goal that he was involved in them conceding. Rolk can't get a tackle in. And that is a dagger through my heart. I will get up eventually. I get up now. Oh, we defended so well here. Rolk putting a tackle, couldn't win it. Ratkov, though, somehow squeezes that in off the inside of the post. That is a ridiculous finish. I mean, we are running out of time in this game. I've got one last sub. Arian B at risk of losing his temper and getting sent off. And Lozzie, on you come, mate. You are going to play as a shadow striker on attack. We're going to the 4-2-2. I've not used it all year. This isn't really a formation I ever expected to play in the Premier League. But I need a goal. I need a miracle. Hutchinson can't play left back, can he? He'll play wing back. It's fine. We're at that point in the season where we're making asymmetric messes trying to chase something. I feel like we are, well, maybe a little unlucky not to get anything from this game. It ends with no more highlights. 3-2, we had more shots. They had the better XG, although the penalty, of course, inflates that significantly. Truthfully, they just had a much better second half than us. We didn't take advantage of the first half when we were on top. And against the team who were bottom, we lose. That result there sees us drop behind Leicester, who managed to win annoyingly. Of course, they drew against us last episode. They followed that up with a good result. Villa closed the gap on us to 5 points. I mean, we have the best goal difference out of the teams in the bottom 7. But we are not scoring points when we probably should be. There's games where you expect to get points, isn't there? And now that is 5 without a win. I'm not sure why I thought this next game was a good idea. We're doing Man City. It's at home. It's Man City. It's 3 days away. It's a trip to Brisbane Road. This could get ugly. I'll see you in a sec. So it's a battle of 9th versus 1st in the XG table. Sadly, in reality, it's a battle between Man City in 2nd and ourselves in 17th. I say that with real pain in my voice. I think there's no denying we've got a little bit unlucky, maybe less so in the Aston Villa game, but definitely that Leicester match I view as points dropped for sure. We still have 18 points in 18 games, which is a really, really good return. Sadly for us, there's not really a team at the bottom of the Premier League struggling massively. This looks like it could be a really competitive season, which is both fun, but also a bit annoying, because like I said, normally this would probably be enough. Now, of course, in this game here, we're taking on Man City. It's just before Boxing Day. We do have Norwich in our very next game, which is another important game in our season. With that in mind, I'm taking this game here as a bit of a free hit, and I'm rotating things heavily, which might seem really dumb and naive against Man City, but I feel like sometimes you just got to take a little bit of a risk, and I think longer term, if it means we've got fresher legs for more important games that are more winnable, that's probably a net benefit. In the final third, Ramsey isn't here, Sheldon's not here, Rashid Mohammed's not here. We're going with Johnson and Morgan up top with Bellingham in behind. Morgan's not been playing so much lately. Did have a little issue with an injury that he's slowly been coming back from, but we're going to give him the game here. Elsewhere in the team, like I said, Wallace in at left wing back is nice. He's going to come in for Amari Hutchinson, who needs a rest. And at the back, Edmondson and JJ are playing at centre back. Daniel Hoey's recent form has been really poor. Rolk's form's been really poor too. To be fair, Arian B, left centre back's not been good enough, but I do have a left centre back that I trust enough to play ahead of him. Oh, and you might have noticed as well, in goal, I'm going with Griffiths over Anson. Caleb Anson's last few games have been really, really poor. Came back from an injury, had a banger of a game against West Ham, since then has struggled. Going to give Josh Griffiths the nod. He was not as bad as I expected when we did have to give him a run in the team. In terms of Man City's team here, I was really hoping they were going to rotate things. Spoilers, I don't think they have. They've got Kulusevski, Doku, Haaland. They've got both Timber brothers in their team. Diaz, Gabriel, Gvardiol, Rodri. Yeah, that's just not a rotating team. Also, they've got Endrick on the bench for them. Brilliant. Of course, we've met Man City in previous cup games and almost caused an upset. Maybe today can be different, although playing my rotator team probably gives you an idea of where my head's at. Then again, you know what? We nearly beat Liverpool. We drew against Tottenham. We've lasted 24 minutes here without conceding. This isn't all that bad. We're singing in the rain, at least at the moment, albeit we've only had 28% of the ball. And, well, yeah, Man City are having quite a lot of possession, concerningly. And they've just picked out Haaland, who scores his 31st goal of the season. VAR will check it. I don't know if it's onside or not. I hope it isn't onside. And I'll tell you what, it's not going to be. Okay, you know what? I'm being far too defeatist here. We've almost lasted 25 minutes. We have a chance. Maybe. That was blooming close though, wasn't it? One highlight dealt with, straight into another one. Man City with possession in our half, somewhat unsurprisingly. Julian Timber gives it back to Ruben Diaz. Gvardiol now with it, inverting into the middle. Gabriel to Timber. Gvardiol, Doku, Haaland. That will be his 31st goal of the season, won't it? I have just skipped it. I don't want to watch it again. I want to pretend that we still have a chance. I would not be surprised if he gets a few more here. Although, we've won the ball in an area. Johnson, with the power of the afro, compelling him, gives it to Wallace. There's options in the middle, I believe. Johnson hits the post. We nearly drew level. I mean, there's 5 minutes left of the half. Man City, to be fair, they've had a lot of the ball. They've only had 2 shots on target. We've kept them quiet. That is not awful. I'm going to tell the players what was that. Deep down inside, not actually that mad. I will say Edmondson at centre-back, maybe justifying the fact he's not been playing lately. He is on a 6.1 rating in this game. Daniel Hoey, I'm sorry. I made an error. You can come back into the team. Elsewhere, I am going to take off Morgan. He's not match sharp. We're going to bring in Sheldon to play alongside Johnson. I feel like Sheldon is our one kind of bastion of hope in this team. He's been developing really nicely. 8 goals in 15. Need a goal or 2 from him here, please. Not sure it's the best sign where to open up, well, the halftime team talk. You're pleading with your striker to score, but that is the world we're in. Sheldon is now on the pitch. To be fair, defensively, we've been okay. Man City haven't created a great deal outside of the 2 chances we've seen. Annoyingly, though, as the time trickles away here, there comes a point where I am going to have to go more attacking. 25 minutes remaining. The rain continuing to lash down here. We have JJ in possession. Man City are crowding out the middle of the pitch so much. I noticed that I think both their fullbacks are actually playing inverted roles. So they both kind of tuck into the middle, and they are just gung-ho throwing players forward. Does potentially leave an opportunity to hit them on the break, sadly. We've not been able to do it just yet, and with a spell of possession like this, it's not really a counter we're looking for. Instead, it's to carve them open through the middle. Sheldon, one-on-one, denied by Cabell. That was a chance to draw level. 20 minutes left. I feel like I'm going to make changes here. Aaron Ramsey on you come. Hutchinson on for Wallace too. I have one more sub. Carl Flood has been kind of disappointing lately. I'm going to bring a Nijaria at right wing back. Fresh legs in the wide area. Never a bad idea. Corner for Man City. I want to believe this highlight can be us hitting on the counter. That's naive, isn't it? It's Johnson with his afro fouling Ruben Diaz and probably sentencing us now to at least a 2-goal defeat. We've not looked like scoring in all honesty. Man City with a chance from the spot. You know who's going to step up. You don't need to think about it, do you? It's Erling Haaland looking for another. Can Griffiths be a hero? I'll tell you what, you could put all our goalkeepers in the squad in goal there. None of them are stopping that. Man City 2, Wanderers 0. Actually not a bad performance, just made more gutting by the fact I don't feel like we've been awful. I mean, look at the match momentum. They scored. We swung the game in our favour. Sadly, the quality of Man City has shown, I feel like, at the end of this game. This game finishes 2-0. Erling Haaland puts us to the sword. I'll tell the players they did themselves proud. Latest scores on the doors elsewhere. Norwich lost. That's good. Brentford lost. That's good. Aston Villa won 3-0. They've brought in Ruben Amorim and he has started winning. And I'll tell you what, you look at the bottom of that table, it's an absolute bloody mess, isn't it? The bottom 7 teams are separated by 5 points. And in fact, I thought that was the penultimate game before the halfway mark. I told a lie. That was the halfway mark in the year. I'll tell you what, I have a sense of dread just lingering. I'm beginning to doubt if we have the quality. Now, like I already mentioned, we've been given an increase in transfer budget. We are going to have some more money for next year. But of course, the fundamental issue is actually attracting players who are going to want to join me and be reasonable with their wage demands. And when you look at the list of players here, and also the ones I've got scouted, there's a lack of inspiration, isn't there? There's definitely a lack of players you look at there and go, wow, their star ratings stand out. I mean, Anthony Elanga's showing up. That's where we're at right now. You know what? Perspective is a wonderful thing. I'm just going to leave this up before people write mean comments about the fact we're not doing so well. Our wage per year is £14 million. Birmingham, second lowest, 36 million. Arsenal and Man City leading the way, hundreds of millions of pounds being spent. This league is not fair. I hope you've enjoyed my pain and suffering today. 2 very winnable games that we very nearly won, but ultimately we came away with 1 point. Tomorrow has to go better. I hope to see you guys for that one. If you've enjoyed, leave a like, and I'll see you next time for more. I'm out.